What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So, unfortunately, I couldn't get this video up for you guys yesterday. Yesterday in Australia, it was like literally way too hot. I don't have any air conditioner in this room that I record videos in, so, you know, I wasn't in this room that long yesterday, so unfortunately, I couldn't get the video out for you guys. However, today, before the treasure map goes live, it only goes live in about, about 5 hours time as of me recording right now. So, I want to make sure I can get this video up for you guys, just in case you guys are wondering about the teams that I am using in order to take on the treasure map against Sakazuki and Issho. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So I did pull this Doflamingo on the treasure map. I did go to 3 multis, so of course we're going to be using this brand new character, of course. This Doflamingo has a pretty decent special ability. He will reduce your chain coefficient reduction by 4 turns, and Dex Orbs will be beneficial for all your characters, and he gives you a type boost. Basically, the first half of this special is literally to take on stage 5 of Sakazuki and Issho final boss fight, because you get a full board of Dex Orbs. He gives you chain coefficient reduction for 4 turns, so using this Doflamingo on that stage just removes all those debuffs, so makes a lot of sense to use the Doflamingo there. Now, in terms of the captain I am going to use, of course I'm going to use VV Rebecca. I did pull them relatively recently. They just help out a lot because of their special ability. Their special ability removes all turns of blue and rainbow shield, and on the final stage there is an 11 turn rainbow shield. It's a 30% damage reduction that the enemy has. So of course having VV Rebecca is going to be dealing a lot more damage than normal, and of course they're a 1.5 times point booster, so why not? Talking about the other stuff for this team, another thing that happens on stage 6 is there is damage threshold, so you have to get rid of that, and you get given attack down. So there are 2 characters in particular that I want to run. The first one is going to be Jinbei. This Jinbei is going to be a high point boost of 1.35. He removes the damage threshold. Where is it? If your captive's fighter or cerebral, removes the damage threshold completely. So we want to be running Jinbei. And then when we use his special, we want to make sure that when we are set to VV and Rebecca, we want to be set to the VV side, I think. Yeah, so VV, oh, they're both cerebral, so it doesn't really matter. That's fine. That's fine. As long as one of your captains is cerebral or fighter, you can remove the threshold on the enemy. Yeah, you want to remove the threshold. He actually applies your own threshold as well. And as I said in my preparation video, it's probably better to run Jinbei against Garp, because Garp does death damage and he has threshold of his own. So having Jinbei to remove his threshold and apply your own so you don't take too much damage from the death hit is actually a really good idea. But I have other ways around that, so we'll talk about that when we get to it. Plus, you know, him being a high point booster, I want to run him on the final boss fight. And attack down, we have to get rid of attack down. So the unit that I want to bring for that is going to be Colosseum Neptune, because it happens on the second final stage. So we want to use it on stage 6 and then carry an orb boost into stage 7. So with this, we basically have the team fully complete. But another one that we want to be using is Neo Heracles. And then with this, we can get a type boost. And also because when Vivi and Rebecca are your captains, Sai and Int are beneficial to all your characters. So what we can do is when we use his special to get a type boost to our cerebral characters, which all of them are on this team, we can actually go ahead and manipulate our orbs around so that our VV and Rebecca, but we're going to have both of them set to Rebecca on the final boss fight, that they have matching slots so they can deal more damage towards the Dex boss. So this is going to be my final boss fight team against Sakazuki and Issho. So now let's go through all of these mini bosses and just plug in units that are going to be very useful, and we can kind of fill it out from there. So against Doberman, if you guys don't remember what he does the really annoying thing where he will bind characters in your top and bottom row. So what we're going to be doing is running the brand new rare recruit Bonnie, because she has a really powerful special where it will go ahead and reduce bind duration on 3 separate characters by 7 turns. So that's going to be really nice to have. And then there is a chance, I don't know, like I haven't seen too many clips of it, but apparently he changes all of your orbs into tandem. So a really good way around that, who is also a free spirit unit, is running this Ambush Shanks, because he can make your tandem orbs beneficial, makes recovery in tandem beneficial to cerebral and free spirit for 1 turn, and he also will give you a 2 times orb boost to your cerebral and free spirit characters. So with this, we basically have everything that we need pretty much to get through the Doberman stage. Moving on to Coby. Coby is the tricky one to build for. He blinds you for like 19 turns. He has an HP barrier, but the HP barrier is very, very small. This one we can kind of build for a little bit later, but let's move on to Suru. Suru is very easy to build for, especially if you have Dex Nami, because legitimately you just run Dex Nami, and it's GG at that point. We also want to be running characters that are like in the higher threshold here for just more points. This new Garp is going to be available in the treasure map exchange, so you can exchange your blue tickets to pick up this character. He's quite expensive. I think he's 2,000 tickets, but then you need to limit break him, which that's the expensive part. But we will be using him. We're going to pick him up and just run him on the team. Like, he's not going to be a useful character. It's just he's a high point booster, right? And then at this point, we can just run like whatever characters we want. I do think that Dex Sabo is going to be a pretty good call, as our captain is Cerebral. So our Cerebral characters will get matching slots with his special ability, as well as we getting conditional boost, which is really good to have. We could also run Ben Beckman and Shanks, because we can switch to Ben Beckman, who is a Cerebral unit, who will also get a matching slot from his special ability. And then from here, we can literally run like whatever we want, so we don't really have to worry about that too much for now. We can move on to the next stage. So Garp. Garp is going to be quite annoying for a lot of players, and the best character for this is going to be Shirahoshi Mancherry, as you get given a special limit for 10 turns. Now, the only character in the game that can remove that is going to be Shirahoshi Mancherry. So I would suggest, if you don't have Shirahoshi Mancherry, then to use a friend captain for this stage is going to help you out a lot. But then the other characters that are going to be running around that, we do need a unit to remove Threshold, because Garp does apply his own Threshold. So the way that we are going to be getting around that is going to be using Colosseum Mole. Now, Colosseum Mole is a fantastic unit, honestly one of the best Colosseum units in the game. He removes the Threshold just by himself, just upon activation, but if we have a free Spirit Captain, then we can get a 1.75 times conditional boost. Now, when we actually have Shirahoshi Mancherry as our captain, when we have Mancherry up, she's classified as free spirit, so we can get a free conditional boost off with the Morley, which is great, so I'll definitely be using that. And then pretty much at this stage, we have everything that we need to just remove all the debuffs on the Garp fight, so we can just fill out the rest of these characters like with whatever we want, though we do need a unit to get rid of Despair. So this new rare recruit Coby is going to be great. He removes Despair by, yeah, paralysis and despair by 5 turns. I think you get despaired for 6 turns, so you do need a character to remove despair on your crew. So with these characters, we can remove everything that we want. So at this point, we can just plug in some powerful int units, right? Well, we can run this new Violet. So this Violet is a 2 times attack booster for Cerebral. It gives adjacent orbs matching, though it doesn't really matter because Shirahoshi Mancherry special gives us a full board of matching orbs anyway. And then we can run, well, we can run this brand new Lucci. We can get an orb boost from that. So there we go. Like, that's a pretty good team. I think that's probably one of the most optimal teams you could possibly run. I mean, the only way to make it more optimal would probably run Colosseum Jinbei here. But I mean, we're going to be using Jinbei here for more points. So either way, that's a pretty powerful team against Garp. Now, moving back to Coby. Now, Coby, he gives you a full board of block orbs. He has a HP barrier. He blinds you. And that's pretty much it. He has a decent amount of HP. So, I mean, it's kind of tricky. You can run lots of different teams in order to get around this. I did brainstorm some teams on my live stream that I did after I did my treasure map pulls. So this is what I was coming up with. I think I was going to be using Sabo Koala Captain. They have a really great special that can change block orbs into matching. So all the orbs we get with his preemptive attack, they're going to be changed into matching. So that's not really a problem. Now, another thing that you have to worry about as well is that your left-hand side will get their special cooldowns reduced by 2 turns, I believe it is. So instead of just bringing a character to rewind our specials forward, I think I'm just going to go ahead and use Neko and Inu on the left-hand side and use his special on stage 6 to carry an orb boost into the final stage. So with this, we get a 2.25 orb, 2.25 attack to Cerebral units. So we can just run predominantly Cerebral units on this team to just kind of like pad it out, basically. So what other units was I thinking about? This Dofi Treble is another really good unit. We can use him on the final boss fight because he has a special ability to give us a chain lock. So again, we could use that on stage 6 to carry a higher chain lock into the next room. But I think that even just the 2.75 chain lock is going to be enough. So basically at this point, we want to be running quick units because the Coby is strength. So we want to get some type advantage in here somehow. So let's run quick Cerebral, and there aren't many options, to be quite frank. We can run this Nami and Robin, I suppose. I mean, again, we have a full board of matching orbs, so it's not really a big deal. Let's go ahead and export this to the calculator just to see how much damage we're actually getting from this. So let's go ahead and make use Sabo. And then let's go ahead and make Usabo. I know, well, then again, we could use their special ability on stage 6, but in most cases, I'm probably just going to have this set to Koala just for the better captain ability. We'll set you to Doflamingo, of course. That would make a lot of sense. Well, your special is going to be active, so we need to actually apply the dual unit. We need to have you set to Inuarashi. And at that point, we have a full board of matching slots. And then we will have, well, we can run the host ship. We can run Zunisha as well, but the host ship is probably just better because we're guaranteed a full board of orbs anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We're going to have this active. We're going to have the orb boost active, if I can find it. Orb boost active and the chain lock. Yeah, so this looks pretty good. This is 11 million damage towards strength, so this is not also applying the buffs that you get upon clearing the intrusion battle as well. So yeah, this is more than enough damage to take on the brand new Coby boss. That's not really going to be a problem. Moving back to Doberman though. So we want to be running predominantly free spirit characters, as we have Bonnie, who's free spirit, and we have Shanks, who is a 2x orb boost to free spirit. So let's go with free spirit characters. Free spirit characters, and we can see we got this Boa Hancock. So we're going to be running double Boa Hancock, of course, as not only that, but she also provides a color affinity boost, and she has the type advantage against Doberman. So at this point, we can just run Psy free spirit characters. We don't really need to worry about it. We can use his special if we have it ready for a free type boost, and then we can run this Ace. I mean, we can't use that Boa because Boa is our captain. So yeah, our best bet legitimately is this Ace for more type advantage. 4.25 boost. Again, we can go ahead and send this to the calculator and have a look with a full board matching slots, if hypothetically, if he does give us tandem slots, and we can have that active. So that's 14 million, not including the intrusion battle buff. More than enough damage to take on Doberman, not a problem whatsoever. With the Suru, we need one last Dex character to put on the team. I don't have this Vivi. I wish I did. It would actually be really, really nice if I did. We could actually put this Sakazuki and Issho somewhere. Not really too sure where we can kind of fit them, but it would be nice to try and put them on a team somewhere. Against Suru, I guess we could use Luffy Law for a bigger orb boost. Then again, like, it really doesn't matter because we've got Nami to get rid of the debuffs that we get applied, and then basically it's GG at that point. If we had a unit that could deal AoE damage through barriers, which Luffy and Law can when they're set to Law, I mean, it's not really a big deal. We can just run that anyway. That's not really a big deal. So at this point, we basically have our teams ready. Let's go ahead and export this to the calculator just so you guys can kind of see how much damage we're getting, just in case if you guys are wondering. So let's switch you. Let's say this is Law, right? Let's say we set this to Law and use his special ability to deal AoE damage through barriers, because on the Suru fight, there are characters that have barriers. There are some mobs with some barriers. So having this, I don't know if it will kill, but with stat boost, it might kill actually. It probably will. So we're going to have matching slots on... If we set this to Law, you will technically have a matching slot. You're not guaranteed a matching slot. We're going to have the Luffy Law special, the Sabo special, and Nami special. So 21 million damage, not including the ambush battle buff. So yeah, that's completely okay. This is actually going to be another one that's going to be interesting to see. So we're going to set this to Mancherry. Shirahoshi Mancherry. But remember, when we're going to use this special first when this is set to Mancherry, so we can get the conditional boost, and then we can switch to Mancherry, use the special, and then we can basically have the int character that we would really like to have. So we can like set this to Mancherry first. Yeah, Mancherry. We can use the Morley special first. Make sure we have a full board of matching slots. Let's set you back to this, and then we go that and that. So 21 million damage, not including the intrusion battle buff. That's more than enough damage. Not really going to be seeing too many issues there. Now, this is also going to be interesting to see. So on the final boss fight, we're going to have both of these set to Rebecca in a good situation. Unfortunately, oh no, they've actually added. I was going to say, last time when I was checking the damage calculator, Heracles was not actually here. So I'm happy that they've actually plugged his special in. So in this situation, on the final boss fight, there is a 2-hit perfect barrier. Oh, wait. Was that applied with all of them? Oh, wow. Okay, so all those teams that you guys just saw, they actually deal even more damage because of that 2-hit perfect barrier. They do even more damage. But yes, talking about this, these characters are guaranteed to have a matching slot. We're going to have that special active. We're going to have this special active. We're going to have this special active. So this is only dealing 9.9 million damage, but remember that does not include the intrusion battle buff, so it will, with cotton candies as well, it's going to be equaling out to at least 15 million damage, which is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that, and I honestly don't think I'm going to be going too crazy on this treasure map, so that's going to be more than enough damage for me for a pretty decent amount of time. And on the other boss fights, like we have 3 int characters, and the chance of getting matching orbs is extremely high, especially when on stage 6 we get given a full board of sign int. If we have one as Vivi and one as Rebecca, that's a guaranteed full board of matching slots. On stage 5 we can use Doflamingo to get rid of that stage completely. So yeah, this team is not going to have any problems whatsoever taking on this this treasure map at all. So really excited about that. For the Kizaru fight, literally we can just run like all of our highest booster units. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. Honestly, it's kind of a bit better if we just run double Shirahoshi Mancherry. Reason for that is because we can set the captain to Mancherry and give our whole crew a 2.75 attack boost instead of relying on color affinity, which I don't really know what the Kizaru boss fight's all about. We don't know anything about it. I will be running the Viva Rebecca sub, I'll be running the Doflamingo, and then we could just run a bunch of 1.35s. We can get a type boosting unit, and we could run Lucci, or we could run a Kainu Fuji. Let's just run a Kainu Fuji just for now, that's not really a big deal. Either way, I think that's going to be my teams for the upcoming treasure map against Sakazuki and Issho. I'm pretty sure that's going to be working okay. I'm not really too phased about that. I mean, I could probably optimize the teams just a little bit more to get a little bit more points here and there. But as long as the final boss fight and the Kizaru fight have your highest point boosters whatsoever, you shouldn't really worry about it too much. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.